friends. Hi Solomon.
Hi.
How are you guys? Jambo mzee. Habari ya asubuhi. Good. So we're at Olderkesi headquarters here. We've only got a very small skeleton crew which we're looking after.
Yeah.
Solomon's our senior warden for Olderkesi Conservancy. We've had a massive, change in the whole situation of the Conservancy. We don't have any tourism, so the actual Conservancy itself relies hugely on tourism. We've had to send quite a lot of people home, haven't we, Solomon?
I think we have sent almost 20 rangers at the moment.
Yeah.
And we are just left with a skeleton crew of 12 guys distributed to the 4 stations in the Conservancy.
Yeah, so it's a big change, and trying to look after a Conservancy with a skeleton crew is a challenge. Anyone who sees this on air, it's always good to know that conservation has to continue. Looking after wildlife has to continue. And Solomon, with his small team which we've got on the ground, are doing their best they can. Small things can help. A salary for a ranger is $250 a month.
Yeah.
So $3,000 a year is what can support a ranger's salary. It's something that is a challenge when you don't have the tourism within the Conservancy. So anyone who can sort of reach out and lend a helping hand in conservation, this is the time. Whether it's your conservation project next to your house, within your district, or whether you want to support afar to conservation projects in the Masai Mara and throughout Kenya, it's a huge opportunity to help at this moment, and we know that wildlife is critically important for the survival of all of us. So Solomon's doing a good job. We've got challenges on our hands.
Yeah.
Our main challenge at the moment is probably the lack of boots on the ground. What's the other sort of challenges we're facing at the moment, Solomon?
I think we have a number of challenges. Like now I have to work hard to ensure the small team is working, and the Conservancy is like there before, like people are not taking advantage. The poachers, the anti-conservancy guys are not taking advantage of the small team. So I have to walk around sometimes to feel, I do abrupt visit to the stations to ensure the team is working hard. And actually we are also communicating with those who are at home to stay at home and stay safe. And we are communicating with our guys who we send them home to try and come up with the small container outside their homestead to try and wash their hands, and to teach the community also to communicate with the community on how to wash their hands. So we are undergoing some challenges. Like me, I have to walk because some stations are not feasible, or their roads are poor, so I have to walk and go and see how these guys are working. We have a lot of challenges, like the cows are coming in trying to take advantage of the small team, but we are really managing the situation. Only that we are few, but we are putting more effort to ensure everything is okay.
Yeah, and I think
and also now we have, we are actually at the edge of the border, and we have the barrier there, and also we have to control the movement of people getting into Kenya. Sometimes, like, we are taking the government directives, like each and every evening after 7 there's no anyone who's crossing the barrier there. Motorbikes, there's no movement of motorbikes at the evening. So we are trying to take government directives on also the curfew that was put by the president. So that's all.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, like Solomon states, he's got new challenges, and his new challenges, which is now on his job as well, is like he says, we've got to sensitize the community to deal with this. How are we going to educate the community? How do we explain it? And the way that we do it out here, we have to engage with each other, learn what the virus is about.
Yeah.
So, we've learned that cleanliness is a very important part of our day-to-day activity. Washing your hands, staying within a certain parameter from the person.
Yeah. Social distancing.
Not shaking hands, and then this is also part of Solomon. He's been going around and teaching the rangers, and the rangers pass the information on to the community. I mean, explain a bit more about the community and how you would go about explaining this to the community.
Yeah. Now, because all gatherings are banned and we cannot hold meetings, so what we can do is that what we usually do is our staff which are outside there at their homes or inside the community, because our rangers, most of 100% of them come from the community around. So what we do, we actually tell them to set us an example of putting outside like a small container like that, and maybe anyone who is visiting that home will experience that form of washing hands, and we encourage them to talk to people who visit their homes to try and come up with that small container outside their homestead so that they can wash hands or anyone coming in. Actually, and also we are trying to communicate with them because actually we have a WhatsApp group with our rangers. So those who are able to read and write, we send them the picture and they can establish that it is very easy to make up that container outside there, and they can teach people outside, those who are visiting. They actually, you know how Maasai live, they live together, and they can actually circulate through themselves and when visiting the rangers' home. So what we are telling our rangers is that outside there they work as an example outside the community, so that that message can go around, so that we can try and overcome, and we know we will overcome this pandemic virus.
Yeah, and I think it's a very successful way. We can't be driving around now with vehicles, and we can't get fuel in at the moment. The roads are getting closed down, so we have to use alternative measures, and that is exactly that Solomon's explaining. Is using our team on the ground who are at home to go out and to teach, and as well as us, anyone who's around, to go out and to teach. This is the headquarters here. We've got quite a lot of livestock. You can look around. We've got some livestock coming down here below the volleyball net. So people who are walking and herding their cows, this is a very rural setup here. You've got a conservancy, you've got local nomadic people who are herding their livestock, and just information can be passed from person to person, and this is an important part. The Conservancy headquarters is sort of closed down to 20-30% operational due to the lack of funds which we're experiencing at the moment, and as well as some of the workforce at home. But we're still here, and we're still creating a presence, and I think it's a challenge we've got, and each week brings in a new challenge, and us on the ground, we're having to deal with those challenges, and next week there'll be a different challenge, and we're going to have to sit down and work out a plan, a strategy to deal with that problem. And I think Olderkesi Conservancy, we're one of the most remote conservancies in Kenya, and I think we probably are one of the most remote conservancies in Kenya. We border the Tanzanian border, we border on to the Masai Mara and the Serengeti, so we're right on the southern corner of Kenya, and it's something that the government doesn't support. Their hand of reach doesn't reach out here. We've got challenges which we have to deal with ourselves. I think if we could reach out to the people who may watch this, in America or Australia or one of these countries out there who've aired this, and will be able to help create us awareness, as well as maybe raise some funds for the Conservancy. Those who have visited Kotas before on Olderkesi, you'll know how beautiful the Conservancy is, and it's good to support us. And I think me and Solomon and the team here would be hugely grateful.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, what can we tell the people at home? Is to look after your families,
Yeah. Stay
and
at
also
home.
to support
Yeah.
wildlife
Yeah,
and
sure.
and natural habitats, which are critically important.
Yeah. But we are praying hard, and hopefully we will defeat the disease, the virus, and all will be well. Yeah.
And it's important, I think, on our side as the people on the ground. I mean, a responsibility lies on our shoulders
Sure.
to help create this awareness that needs to happen. I mean, it's a big responsibility that is landed on our shoulders because we have the means. We've got the phones, we've got the vehicles, we've got the time, we're employed. So our work is shifted to help others now as well, as well as try protect the wildlife. For the future clients who are going to visit this area, it's a challenge, and I think that we're dealing with it, and it's good to have Solomon on the ground. It's good to have our team on the ground. As Solomon says, all our rangers are from this area. We're all from this area. Solomon's from this area. It's a very important area to them, and it's part of their life here. So we've got to keep it going. And I mean, Solomon, how important is it to keep rangers on the how important is it to employ rangers and keep boots on the ground at this time, and how important is it to look after the wildlife for the next 18-20 months? I mean, it's
sure, it's very important, and rangers are the main cause of conservancy, because they do the daily basis activities around the conservancy, like patrolling, actually doing wildlife monitoring and all that, and scaring out livestock. And actually it is very important to have them, because if you don't have rangers in the conservancy, actually you will see a difference in the conservancy, because you will see everything messed up. We actually with the help of the rangers, they will do daily patrols, and that's where we can discourage or overcome poaching in the wildlife areas, and actually illegal grazing and all that. So actually rangers are very important, and also it's a benefit to the community outside there, because many of our rangers, or all of our rangers, has families outside there who rely on them on their daily basis. They depend them on financial and daily basis activities. So they are very important, and also it's a benefit to the Conservancy and the community to employ rangers, and with a Conservancy running, and that's why the community set aside this land. It is for their benefits, and actually employing rangers, it's a benefit to the community too.
Yeah, and out of the area which we're in, the only people who are employed at the moment are our rangers.
Yeah, sure.
And they're, like Solomon says, it's critically important that we continue supporting their salaries and their jobs, because for one, their job is so important to the environment, to their area, and two, like Solomon says, they get an income, and that income supports a family, and that family needs to be supported. And the community see this time more than ever those who are employed to actually they have more respect within the community. So it's important that we support, and we get the support as well to support the community, and that's what we need to focus on and rely on. And it's something. Conservation is not just up to the people on the ground, it's also up to the people all around the world to look after their natural heritage. The lions and the elephants here are part of our earth, and they're not ours, they're also everyone else's. So that's where people need to come in to lend a helping hand, because Solomon can explain to you, he's from this area. These lions and elephants have been roaming this area since his grandfather were here. The tourists come to see it, but in actual retrospect, the air we breathe and the land we live in, you know, is everyone's. It's all part of our responsibility to look after the wildlife. And I think Solomon will tell you a bit how important it is to look after wildlife.
Yeah, actually, wildlife and the community surrounding here have seen a lot of benefits on through wildlife. Starting with the rangers being employed here, as Jimmy has stated that they are taking some salaries home, and we know many places have sent their staff out without pay, but rangers are still earning salary. And our Masai depends on livestock, and the markets, they sold the livestock in the market and earn, but there's no markets now. They have been cancelled. There's no markets anymore, so there is no anywhere you can sell your cows or your sheep. So our rangers are benefiting from the income that they are getting because they can feed their families. And also through wildlife, that before we have been sponsoring kids out there at school, employing teachers, and also our teachers are still earning salaries now. And actually we have outreach programs like women groups outside there, and we are educating them on how to generate income so that they can get their daily bread outside there. So actually wildlife is very important, and now the community around here have come and see actually the importance of wildlife, or keeping wildlife, or protecting the environment surrounding them.
Yeah. And for the tourism which will come back in the future, we need to have the wildlife, because if we don't protect the wildlife now, how can we bring tourism back?
Yeah.
So it's something that is part and parcel of everything, and I think that Olderkesi is trying its best in supporting the community at the moment, as well as the education and the outreach program to bring the information to the ground on how to successfully manage and the virus itself, as well, to successfully manage your family, to be able to show them how to be cleanliness and hygiene. And this is all part of new sort of engagements that the families are having outside on the peripheries of the Conservancy, and it's something that we support, and we will continue doing the work, and it doesn't stop here. It's continuing. We've got lots of work ahead of us. I suppose another thing we can sort of talk about is that we've got some amazing partners, and the partners themselves are, RAS, Royal African Safaris. We've got Mwaka, which were part and parcel of supporting our Women Rangers program. We bring a big thank you to RAS for supporting the wash stands as well around the community. A big thank you to Mwaka, who is going to support our Women Rangers. Our Women Rangers are a new project that is started up. We're really trying to get gender equality on our community and under our workforce, and we're trying to reach to 40% gender equality of Women Rangers within our workforce. At the moment they're at home. They'll be coming back soon as the funds are released and we can get them back to working. Part and parcel of the rest of the partners we've got some donors overseas who have been supporting us and been handing out some beautiful gifts to us. So thank you very much to the partners overseas who are supporting us. A big reach goes out to our tourism operators in the Conservancy who are staying with us at the time. We've got 1920s Cotters Camp, which is a huge part of our Olderkesi management and supporting of the whole project. We've got Impiri Piri, Richard Cochrane. They're doing an amazing job on that side. Instinct of the Mara. So Instinct of the Mara, a big thank you for them. And then I think we've got our Rangers. A huge thank you goes to them. They're tireless, their work. our employees. I mean, Solomon, your employee, thank you very much for your time and your effort in the Conservancy. And it's something that, you know, a big thank you comes from us on the ground for anyone who's supporting us. I mean,
Sure.
you've got to lend a huge hand, don't you, Solomon? These people are,
Yeah.
if they're donating at this time for us to continue our work, it's a huge thank you. Yeah. I mean, Solomon, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, it's just to put a word of thank you to everyone who have been supporting us. Actually, for those who have been contributing, you have almost exhausted all of them. I also take this opportunity to thank everyone who have been supporting the Conservancy, the rangers, the donors, the 1920s, the guests, actually, and the Kin Travel have been doing a lot of work on sponsoring kids and everything that they have been doing to the Conservancy. A big thank you to everyone. Stay at home, be safe.